Hi, everybody. Welcome back to the Sedona International Film Festival 2025. I'm Tanya June Moore, and I love my job. I want to give a huge shout out to Cleaner Quicker Car Wash, to the Goldenstein Gallery, to the City of Sedona, and to all the volunteers, the hoteliers, the restaurateurs that come out to make this festival a huge success. And if you want to follow everything that's going on at the festival, please use hashtag Sedona Film Fest. You can just follow that, and you'll get to see all these incredible filmmakers. So please, introduce yourself and your film.
Of course, thank you for having me. My name is Anna Richardson White, and my film is called Appleheads, and it just screened here this morning as part of the documentary short section.
We will talk a little bit about your experience in just a second, but just to get everybody up to date, let's run the trailer, and then I have a little connection to this one, a little bit.
As long as I can remember, my dad's work has given him a sense of purpose. He and my mom came to Whitesburg in '69 with a truck full of film equipment and a government grant to start a media workshop. I don't think anyone expected it to become what it has.
We're a group of native filmmakers and other artists working in the heart of the Appalachian Mountains at a workshop called the Apple Shop. Since 1969, we've been documenting our mountain culture and its struggle for survival.
So as most people in my little community know, I'm from Kentucky, and I have a lot of family from the Appalachian region and that are still living there. Watching this film, like I mean, the accents all came back, all of the memories came back of growing up in that area. What was it like revisiting for you?
Well, you mentioned the accent, and that was really the impetus for me making the film.
Mm-hmm.
So I've been out of Kentucky longer than I lived there. I went to boarding school and college in the Northeast and lived abroad a bit, and then have been in California for the past 15 years. But wherever I go, people would always ask me where I was from. And most people, if they gave a guess, would be like Texas, maybe Florida, Georgia. But it was clear they just never met anyone from like this region. It's very specific, as you all know.
Yes.
Appalachian Mountain, like very pioneering spirit, quite rugged, very proud people. And so when I would say I was from Eastern Kentucky, it was almost like a conversation stopper. People would be like, okay, like continuing on. And so I just I want to explain more about where I'm from. And you know, the film opens with me saying, people ask me my accent, and I want to tell them everything.
Yeah.
But you can't always tell everybody everything, you know, the moment you meet them in the hallway at work or wherever,
right,
or traveling on a plane or something. So I decided to make this film. And going back, as it's always been since I left, I went to boarding school when I was 15, and going back, it's always a real push and a pull. Like, I love being back there. I feel so much connection. We had scenes we shot, which didn't make it in the film, but at the town Rotary Club, where my mom and dad go every week, with my two best friends from kindergarten who are still in the town, with the editor of our town paper. So there are a lot of people in the community that I've been close with forever. And so going back and talking with them and hearing stories about the early days of Apple Shop and what it was like to grow up in a town that had this kind of enigma, this art institute in like a really kind of country town. It was really, really powerful. And then whenever I leave, I always feel sad to leave.
Right.
But my life is in California with my family, so I think...
I get it. I mean, being from there,
like
I totally understand. Like, I'm just, yep, I understand this. And there's so much lore around Appalachia and Eastern Kentucky, and there's a lot of incredible story and history there. And I'm so glad that you're bringing something up that's positive from that region. The last time I've seen something even remotely positive was Justified, Walton Goggins' character, who literally nailed the accent. Like, he was the only person in the whole cast that nailed the accent of that region. And I used to brag about it. I'm like, that's exactly how people sound there, you know? And watching...
That was one show people would call me, or friends that I'd gone to like camp with or gone to school with, you know, would say, oh, I'm watching the show Justified and it reminds me of your region. And I was like really proud of that.
Yes,
As
me
you know,
too.
There's like such a pride, but so often the stereotypes are so one note of the hillbilly.
Correct.
Of
Hill Jacks, girl,
poverty.
Hill Jacks. Not even Billies. We didn't even get Billies. We got some weird dude named Jack, right? And what I really appreciate is that your parents stayed and they wanted to share that with this incredible I'm sorry, Apple shop. And I feel like I remember hearing about that or knowing about that in some way. And I can't wait to call my family and ask them about it. Is there a chance that this is going to become a full-length narrative, either narrative or documentary?
I've thought about both, about doing almost like a 4-part, either kind of docuseries or a scripted series about this kind of enigma of a thing, this art institute in 1969, early 70s, that was created so local people could use cutting edge equipment, the video camera at that point,
yes,
to tell their own story.
Amazing.
And when in Louisville and Lexington, like in New York, in LA, people know of Apple Shop. And I grew up always like really being reminded or understanding how cool it was the more I spent away from it.
Yes.
Which I think is also a common thing happens when you move away and as you get older. And I really wanted this story to be one specific to my experience, but also one that anyone who's immigrated from one place to another or gone to a new country or new home could still kind of relate to that idea of this like nostalgia and pull for home, even if for a lot of good reasons you've decided not to live there any longer.
Correct.
So I would love to make a feature, and I would love, if I made a feature documentary, I would love to do it sooner rather than later, because also that generation of early Appleheads, which is the name of the
getting
film,
older.
They're getting older.
Yes.
And many of them have gone on to make lots of different documentaries and teach at UT Austin or at Ohio State or different schools at Duke.
I love that.
And they really have spread what they learned elsewhere. So I would love to get that story down.
Please do it. How did you just screened? So how was the screening?
It was wonderful. It was really
Did people have good questions for you?
They did. And this is only the second time that I've screened it at a festival. So last week I was at the Big Sky Documentary Film Festival in Montana. Mm-hmm. That's where the film premiered. And then, on the coattails of that, I came here. And both festivals in such beautiful places. I've never been to Montana. I have been to Sedona once before. But the Sedona vibe, the theater was definitely more packed than in Montana. People seemed really engaged. Almost everyone stayed. I'd say the theater was full, and almost everyone stayed for the Q&A.
Yes.
And I got a lot of questions and also like some really pretty incredible compliments. And it just makes me feel like making this film was the right thing to do, because I'd worked in more corporate kind of Hollywood film companies, and then I worked in tech for YouTube and Instagram, and then I decided to just take a step away from that and make this independent short film, and it's a bit of a risk, and I'm glad to see it received.
I think you're onto something, and I mean that, and I am just so glad to have somebody here that's showing Appalachia in a really positive light.
I love that.
And congratulations to you.
Thank you so much.
And thank you to our audiences here at the Sedona International Film Festival, because I know I can always count on you not only to pack the house, but to truly be good cinephiles and ask great questions. So thank you for making my job here very easy. Follow the hashtag Sedona Film Fest, and we will see you very shortly with another set of filmmakers.